This is breaking news.
It is.
This is like a live dispatch from the field of the weekly reset. You know, this is my equivalent of like a flak jacket, kind of being out there. You know, kind of.
Oh, that's a really good idea. We need to get like big press, like those big press jackets, and, like little like UN hats.
Yeah, exactly. And then whenever one of the pictures falls down from the wall, we'll be like, whoa!
Just to protect us from like the comment section, right?
So we now know the entire shape of the next year of World of Warcraft. We remember this obviously happened last year. We're going to go through this bit by bit, one by one.
Look at all the layers, the little flags.
So layered.
It's multi-layered.
I know layering is in right now. It is so hip. It is so cool.
'Tis the season,
and it's good to see them kind of putting that through to their roadmap. And I think we may have revealed, maybe not, but may have revealed what it was that all of those devs were being so suspicious about in the replies to that tweet of mine as well. Do you remember when I put that tweet out and I said, like, I think it's wild that they didn't announce follower dungeons at BlizzCon. It makes me wonder what else they didn't announce. And then the replies to that tweet were just dev after dev after dev, including Holly Longdale herself, kind of just, you know, being kind of coy and like,
I feel like we got a lot of that little side-eye emoji in there as well, which has become the official Holly's official shorthand for whatever is coming.
Yeah, it's like she's got that on like cut and paste, right?
Did you see her in her tweet about it? She's also like, and eye emoji will remain eye emoji until it's time to reveal what it is.
Oh, like, really?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there are many things that could be. I suspect it's probably this 10.26.
Of course.
But we are going to go through this and we are going to have a proper look at it. Apart from anything, the War Within being a summer/autumn. Now, for me, that means like early autumn, perhaps. One of the big surprises is how much appears to be coming before then as part of Dragonflight and kind of the wind down of Dragonflight. Because we've had the last raid of Dragonflight, we've had the last tier raid of Dragonflight, certainly. Yeah. And, you know, the last weekly reset, we asked the question, are we in for a content drought? A fair question to ask, I think. But one that has been seemingly well and truly snuffed by this roadmap. And I said in that episode that, you know, Blizz had definitely earned my trust at the moment with their patch cadence. And it's really good to see them seemingly, on the face of it, kind of be worthy of that trust and absolutely rise to it. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really exciting.
So let's have a look at what we've got here. Seeds of Renewal, obviously, we knew about before. So none of this is particularly new, but obviously the Dragon Isles epilogues, the Reclamation of Gilneas, whatever that is, I think it's going to end with us occupying Gilneas again, whatever that
sounds
means,
about right.
For whatever reason. Is that something you're excited for? Are you all about the Wolfie Boys?
You know, I had a Wolfie Boy phase, like everyone.
When did you start playing?
In Cataclysm.
Yeah, so like that's proper, you know, Gilneas prime time, right?
Yeah, and I feel like they haven't received huge amounts of love, but this feels like a nice show of love for them, and I'm really excited to see it. I'm excited to just go back to Gilneas. I forget that it's there.
Well, exactly.
A lot of the time, to be honest.
As an American who lives in the UK, is that basically how you see us?
Yeah. Yeah, like little Cockney people with soft hats.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes.
I like to think that you playing during Cataclysm when, you know, Gilneas was front and center and everywhere else, I like to think that's probably one of the things that kind of subconsciously made you come over to this country.
Yeah. All right,
I am
governor.
very hairy, so it probably like, somewhere in there is probably helped us get together.
Yeah, just unconsciously, I was like, you know, and I'm always going to have a soft spot for like Gen and all that stuff. I'm really excited to see all them again.
Oh yeah, I look forward to hopefully some good Gen character. Now the thing is, right, is the Reclamation of Gilneas a way of, you know, kind of giving Gen somewhere to be so that we can really focus on his character in the World Soul Saga and develop it? Or is it a way of getting him out of the way? It's like, Gen's not coming on this adventure because he's got lots of stuff to do in Gilneas now. What do you think?
I have a feeling it's like the latter. I feel like we're going to say hello, you know, reacquaint ourselves.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be like have a starring role, basically.
Yeah. Do you know why I think that's the case?
Because his hair costs too much to animate.
Yeah, I think we're going to get like a big series of Sourfang style super high res cinematics throughout the World Soul Saga. I think they're going to go back to that like they did in BFA. I think we're going to see the renewal of a lot of BFA storytelling techniques.
I agree with you, and I really have missed those cinematics. I mean, we got one basically for the launch of
exactly
the announcement of
when I asked Terran Gregory about it in our interview. You'll remember he was pretty coy about it, and in a way that suggested because there was some stuff he absolutely shut me down.
Yeah.
And that was not one of those
so good
things.
at that, and he's just
But that one, I came away definitely thinking there's going to be a series of those. So sorry, everyone, if there's not, and it's a massive disappointment. But yeah, and I think with that in mind, they were like, Gen is so expensive to put into these cinematics because he has so much hair. Please, can we just like... he's not one of the Planeteers, okay? You know, he's not one of the mains. So I think I don't think it's the reason it's happened, but I think a happy byproduct of the Gilneas thing is the fact that they get to put him in there. And like, he's very busy right now. He can't make it. Sorry.
He's got
a city to rebuild, right?
Exactly.
Dragon Riding Worldwide is a big one. It's going to be a game changer. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be wild. It's going to be so good. Follower dungeons, obviously huge. The Azerothian archives, which I've seen people testing on the PTR now, which is fantastic.
Oh, have you managed to check that out?
No, I have not managed to check it out, and furthermore, I'm not going to. It's one of those things where, you know, it's not like a power progression system or anything like that. So, you know, I don't need to write a guide on it or anything. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I don't need to know about that.
Okay, you don't want to spoil yourself. You actually don't have to spoil yourself for it.
No, exactly.
Something extremely juicy comes out.
Absolutely.
Right?
There are some things that I do, like major story points and story quests, you know, like testing kind of new power systems and stuff. As a kind of creator who does newsy stuff and lore-y stuff, we have to do that, you know, and we have to spoil ourselves for that. But I for the first time ever, when it came to the Secrets of Azeroth event that happened a couple of patches ago, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to spoil myself, so I didn't, and I really enjoyed Secrets of Azeroth, and I want Azeroth Archives to be the same sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there is always the chance that some like tremendous bit of juicy lore is going to drop from it. But
I think there'll be little tidbits of lore, and you know, I think another reason I don't want to kind of test it out on the PTR and stuff is because I don't actually think there's much to it.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't think it's a huge event or anything. I don't think it's on the level of Secrets of Azeroth even. I think it's just going to be a nice, cool little thing, which, you know, if I've done it on the PTR, I don't really want to do it again in game. Do you know, I've got so many achievements that I haven't got in game because I did it all on the PTR and then like
tough, isn't
it? The saving Chromie thing from Legion.
Yeah.
Completed that on the PTR, loved it, really enjoyed it, didn't want to play it when it happened in Legion, so I don't have those. I have no progress in that in the live game.
That's totally fair, and I think you're right. I think there's I don't think there's a huge amount of content in the Azerothian archives. I think what people want it to be, or what people think of when they hear those words, is like, oh, it's my library. It's this is it. So people, I think, are still unconsciously like wanting more from that, even though it's, I think, a bit smaller than what we expected. But that's fine.
Yeah. The Outland Cup as well, which is going to be super fun. Yeah. I love all of the cups. They're really good. Outland's going to be can you imagine going around like the Dragon Bladed Mountains? Kind of it's going to be so cool. But whatever. We knew all about that. That's fantastic. Still no release date on that one, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that one should be coming out. Everyone thinks that's coming out on the 9th of January. I'd be very surprised. Now we know there's so much other stuff to come as well. I'd be very surprised if that doesn't come out in the 9th of January.
Yeah, okay.
So the War Within Alpha is kind of tucked away behind there.
Yeah, love those popping up there.
Yeah, really cool.
I have to say, just shout out to the graphic design team who have put these together. I find these like so satisfying, like such a good way of conveying information in like a really clear, straightforward way. So like graphic designers do not get enough love. So cheers to whoever has designed this. I see you, and I am grateful for you.
It's like the tube map in the way.
The tube map
brings
is genius.
Information together.
Yeah, the tube map is actual genius.
Yeah, totally. Anyway. So the War Within Alpha, like scheduled for a winter spring kind of release, which suggests March to me. March or April for the alpha, which I think is probably a bit sooner than many of us were expecting. So that
feels
really,
soon to me. Yeah.
really good news. That kind of matches up with the Dragonflight thing a little bit. So yeah, really excited about that. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Holly keeps tweeting at us, so I'd like to think maybe we'll get alpha. I don't know.
Maybe one of us will.
Maybe she hates us. Maybe that's why she's one of like, she's hate tweeting us the whole time.
No.
She's like, oh, these dicks, right? I emoji
never.
for you, dickheads.
She would never. She is such a professional. She is like the best. I love her.
So yeah, hopefully we'll get in some alpha and we'll be able to give you like good sort of videos and information from that. That would be amazing. And if not, we'll just have to watch Mr. GM streams like everyone else. Yeah, well, exactly. What usually happens is that Evie will get an alpha and I won't. And I'll be like, well, I'm sure mine is on its way. And then a couple of days later, we'll get another email from Blizz about an alpha and it'll be another alpha for Evie. That's what happened before.
Yeah.
Like, what? Which is fair, honestly. I think that's I would do the same. Like, I would troll me as much as possible. And speaking of trolling Taliesin, now we were at a family dinner last night. Last time we'll see my family before Christmas, before New Year. And, you know, I knew I was expecting this to happen, for this roadmap to be released. So I was checking my phone constantly and it didn't happen. It didn't happen at all while I was checking my phone. And then I had about an hour where I was just kind of caught up with family stuff and kids stuff. Then we left the house and we were walking home and Evie just kind of like nudged me and was like, have you seen the roadmap? Like, no! She's like, there's just a skull and crossbones, dude. And, you know, it's not for me, but it's impossible to not take this a little bit personally. After making all those predictions about privateers and conquistadors, and then taking the mickey out of ourselves in the weekly reset live about there being no pirates and us being completely wrong and everything like that. Mike Ybarra with his famous no pirates tweet and stuff like that. And then to see this cheeky little 10.26 banner, and you know, the fact that I saw Matt Bell's dude kind of tweeting about this, saying like the confidence, the playful confidence that this exudes, right? Like, I feel like putting this kind of banner with no explanation on the roadmap is like the equivalent of, like, you know, when in football, when a striker is just in really good form, you know, he's just been scoring a whole ton of goals and like he's got this confidence, and it's like every time he gets the ball, like anywhere near the box, he just does like a stupid little chip or just something. Just like a little... something that you never usually try. And half the time it goes in because he's in such good form and stuff. He's just got this confidence. And that's honestly what this flag feels like to me. It's like they are so confident and in control of this right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just like, we can afford to play with this. We can afford just to troll a little bit. We can afford to kind of just have some fun with it, you know? Exactly.
And I mean, and that requires like a high level of confidence and a high level of trust from the community. Absolutely. Because if they would have done that in a different time, it could go completely the opposite way and people would be just pissed off about it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Like, a tease only works if there's a level of kind of consent across the board with everyone.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? So
presumably, like, 10.26 refers to the theme of the patch, because the features of the patch, you know, seem to be connected to season 4, which is part of 10.26, right? So it's weird that it doesn't just say season 4 and then patch 10.26 underneath it. That's what you'd expect, right? That's what I would have done if I was using the template to make this thing. And I'd gone, season 4, 10.26 underneath, in the way like all of these other ones work, and they've usually worked before. So to have that cheeky little skull and crossbones flag here, and I have to ask, Evie, what do you think it means?
Well, I've seen some speculation on this, and because, you know, the internet is interneting and people are like, oh, well, you know, this is also the symbol for poison, and, you know, this could just mean, you know, death, whatever. It's like, look, guys, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Sometimes
Is that some
A skull.
Polish saying? What?
Excuse me, that's Sigmund Freud.
Oh my God!
Although it does sound a bit like a Polish saying.
It sounds like some old Polish play or something that's been translated.
Yeah, like it's like not my
sometimes a
monkeys,
cigar.
not my circus. Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
No, it's
sorry.
Freud.
Please
So
carry on.
So sometimes, in essence, it means sometimes what it looks like is exactly what it is, right? Sometimes a cigar is not suggestive of anything. Sometimes it is literally just a cigar. So a little bit of Freud for you in the morning.
What do you think it to mean?
It's literally just like a pirate theme. Like,
So you think it is just
kind
going to be a pirate theme patch?
Yes, but within that, I want to believe there is more to it.
So, I mean, I want to just go through, I think you're probably right, but I like that idea of poison because it does definitely match up with like the rot and stuff like that, which is something we are expecting. Mm-hmm. We are expecting Deadeye to come back, that Gnoll, who we kind of fought in the Tuskar dungeon. She is out there. She is, kind of controlling the rot. There was I don't know if you've done those quests after you complete the raid, where the tree has appeared in Narn Plains, and it's really beautiful. Like all kind of residents of the Dragon Isles are in the Narn Plains kind of looking at it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You go around talking to them, and there's that good Gnoll that you helped save in the quest thing way back.
Yeah.
And he's like, Deadeye's coming back, man. She's got the rot. She's not going to like this. She's gonna do something about this. So, I mean, I hadn't even thought of poison, honestly, but that might be a little hint towards Deadeye and stuff, and that's cool. It could be like I've seen people say hardcore for retail, which would be weird because retail. I mean, I feel like I never die in retail. So
no, I don't know. No way.
So I don't think that's a thing, but. Do you know what I think it is?
What? Tell me.
Ban wave. I think it's a huge ban wave.
Just
We've had a
perma-ban.
really big ban wave in Season of Discovery, and I think they're like, well, we developed some very good ban wave tech for Season of Discovery, and I think we're going to unleash it on retail as well. And it's like, the player base will halve. All bots will be gone. It will be fantastic. That's what I think.
Yeah. So I mean, so if it is,
That's not really what I think.
so if it is like pirates,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
we see this
okay,
and we're
I
like
think it's
pirates.
impossible not to think it's pirates,
What does pirates mean? Like,
Okay,
where are we going? What
Sorry,
are we
I've also
doing?
seen it like maybe suggestive of a major character death or something like that. And I love all these ideas. Keep
I
them
love
coming.
them,
Like,
yeah.
let us know. But I like the Deadeye thing. Apart from pirates, the Deadeye thing is the most compelling theory to me, just because it kind of matches up with what we're expecting anyway. But no, I think, the implication is definitely that it's pirates, right?
Absolutely.
Bloodsail, we've seen them already in the Forbidden Reach. We've had which is what led us to make all these predictions about the next expansion in the first place, right? There is so many breadcrumbs kind of leading to pirate stuff and what have you, which does match up with Khazalgar and where the next expansion is set as well. So let's take that as our starting point. Let's assume it is pirates, in which case F you, Mike Ybarra, and also everyone else. What does that mean for Season 4? Because like if we look at Season 4, right, Dragonflight raids revisited. That's our fated season.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the 3 raids. We'll be going back to them. Presumably there'll be some like currency system where you can buy the gear like you did last time. It was really popular. It was really good. Fantastic. Whole new PvP season, new Mythic Plus season. Which, I mean, you'd assume, my assumption with the fated season for Dragonflight was going to be that it's just going to be essentially the 9 Dragonflight dungeons.
Sure.
So at least the 8 opening Dragonflight dungeons. Probably, like, you might as well put the Dawn of the Infinites in there as well. I know it's in this season too,
Yeah.
so maybe just like the opening Dragonflight dungeons. They've never been in one group of 8 altogether. We've only had one season of each before now, so I think it would hold. I think it'd be a nice way to like round off the expansion. Would be just to have Dragonflight dungeons. Oh, we know that Season 4 is Dragonflight dungeons. Oh, Diggerwolf, that makes perfect sense. Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. Brilliant. Well, I'm glad that's been clarified. Thank you for letting us know. Do you think the pirates thing means that the big thing they were sitting on wasn't player housing? I think I think the pirates thing, the pirate flag thing, yes, at the moment, I think that's what the devs were referring to when they were being all coy in my mentions, when they were being all coy on that tweet.
It must be.
I think this is what they were talking about. Yeah. Now, do I think that means they're not sitting on player housing? No.
Oh, could you imagine?
I'm sorry. I can't shake it. Based on zero evidence, and I've said this from the start, it's always been based on zero evidence, but based on zero evidence, I still think there's going to be player housing.
I love this idea.
I'm really sorry. I can't shake, and I know it's stupid, but I genuinely think that we're getting player housing before War Within.
As much as I hate to like go back to a sports metaphor, I liked your one about being like someone being like super confident, really in control of the ball, like, and just like I am getting huge confidence vibes like from the team right now, and I feel like they could absolutely just drop something like that.
Totally.
I also feel like there's something even in the way that clearly there's been a meeting and a memo and everything about like how devs can talk or not talk about stuff.
You're right.
On like social media or things, and suddenly having people like jumping in, like not just Mike Ybarra saying something vaguely cryptic, but like, you know, Holly and like loads of the team jumping in and gifing and side-eyeing.
Dude,
and
I feel like there's been a GIF memo.
But there's been like, here's what you can and what you can't say, but we encourage you, or please go out and go ahead and like stoke the flames a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and they would never do that if there was nothing to actually reveal.
Yeah.
Right? Or to, so.
Exactly. And there is just like this supreme feeling of confidence in the team, or that's what they exude. That's what they're showing.
That's what I'm getting, right? I don't know.
And when there's that much confidence, basically, I feel like anything could happen. You know?
I have the same feeling.
Maybe that's why I'm feeling that way about player housing. You know?
Me too. It's like and they've done this before, where especially with the roadmaps, like it's such a pleasant surprise, and then they'll give you a little more, and you're like, I didn't even expect.
That's exactly
more.
what they do, because exactly. Bear in mind, with every roadmap that we've had so far, they have liberally sprinkled extra stuff on top of that as we've gone along.
Yeah.
You know, so season 4 and Dark Heart and War Within, which we're going to get to all of. Sorry, just enjoying the little tangents. But you know, when we get closer and when the proper announcements for those patches happens, there's always some new stuff in there as well. Now, it's likely, I think, that you know, the most likely thing, if it is pirates or whatever, or privateers, conquistadors, right?
Yeah, sure.
Is that it's connected to the new open world rewards. It's far more likely that it's just going to be like the theme of the patch vaguely, and that'll kind of, you know, maybe there'll be like a Mythic Plus a fix, which is kind of vaguely pirate themed.
Right.
Like, you know, you will start walking on one leg, or like pirates start attacking you or something, or a cannon fires, right? Yeah. It's like an area of effect thing you have to get out of or something like that. And it's probably going to be a world event with pirates and stuff. And that's where the new open world rewards kind of comes in. That's probably the most likely thing, is that if it is pirates or whatever, it's connected to the new open world rewards, right? Yeah,
and I'm sure a lot of that will be transmog. Pirate transmogs.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah,
like that's the best thing that could possibly happen, you know, like
from a pirate patch.
I like to think they've probably been working on a whole bunch of pirate transmogs and weapon transmogs and things like that, and that's why we've had so much leakage like onto the store and the trading post of piratey themed stuff, which is again one of the reasons why we made all these predictions about the next expansion in the first place, is because there was so much of that stuff around. And you know, it's possible that it has been being worked on, because there's always that thing when stuff finds its way into certain places in the game, it just kind of suggests that theme of stuff is on the dev's mind.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I can see that. And sometimes it's a bit of like a red herring, but I think they have a good balance of like putting stuff out that is just totally like, you know, random, but also things that are focused and do hint at other things. Like they do that, don't they?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, even if this update is like the only thing that this update is hair underneath pirate hats.
Oh,
that'll be worth it. That'll be the best change ever in the history of the game. What are you talking about? Be amazing. So season 4, and isn't this awesome, right? Season 4 for me, not even the most exciting thing on this roadmap.
No, not even close.
Because obviously, you know, the War Within launching is huge. Huge. But the biggest surprise on this roadmap, honestly, is patch 10.2.7, the existence of which isn't a surprise, but Dark Heart.
Yeah,
and there are some things on here which are awesome, which sound wild. Troll and Dranei Heritage Armor is a big one.
Awesome. So good.
So, like Dranei Heritage Armor, I feel like we've got about 3 sets of Dranei Heritage Armor in the game already, right? Or things that would be, you've got those brilliant sets from WoD. You've got a really good set from Legion, which works as Dranei Heritage Armor. The Lightbound Dranei Heritage Armor is basically, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but for me, the best thing about the Heritage Armors is always the quests. And always because sometimes those quest lines are brilliant. And I think Dranei will be well served. I think a lot of people are a bit worried about the troll stuff.
Well, there are a lot of expectations around the troll stuff. And I feel like the troll community is really laser focused and they know what they want. And so I have I hope that the devs have been listening to them and are keeping an open mind and we'll see. But I'm really excited to see what it's going to be.
I don't care if the troll heritage armor is no transmog at all, just a beard.
Yeah.
Just one beard. One beard, Liz. Yeah. That's all we want. But I think a lot of people want the troll heritage armor to quest line to deal with Vol'jin and kind of sort that out a little bit and deal with that and the heritage quest lines don't usually tie up in-game quest lines. That's not what they're used for, and it's one of the reasons people get very frustrated with them because it's I wanted the Night Elf quest line to be our new home
thing,
and that actually happens in the story separately. And quest lines are usually heritage armor quest lines are usually a bit more evergreen. So I don't know if they're going to deal with Vol'jin in the troll heritage armor quest line. I'm not sure.
We'll see.
We'll find out. Yeah,
I really hope the Dranei one. I hope we go back to the Exodar. I miss that Dranei stuff.
Oh yeah. If we don't go to the Exodar for the Dranei heritage armor quest line, someone has failed in their job.
But I just even thinking about that gives me the warm fuzzies in the same way that thinking about going back to Gilneas. There are places that I want to go back, but I haven't had a reason to go back to.
Well, last time I was hanging out with the Dranei was in Argus, not in Legion, but in the Eridar Manari customization quests. Pretty cool quests actually, where you go back to Draenor and sorry, not Draenor. You go back to Argus and hang out.
Cool.
And a really kind of strong suggestion in those quests at the very end there that the Broken are in conversations with kind of joining the fold again as well. Cool. So I really wouldn't be surprised if the Dranei Heritage Armor quest line is based around getting them back into the fold, winning their trust, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was an allied race or customization for them.
That would be think so?
Well, it would make sense, right? We got the Minari back in the fold, so now we have those customizations, and if the Broken are involved as well,
I can see it.
It would be really good. I think, that would be worthy of some side-eye emotes, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing.
Would you be down for that?
100%.
Yeah. The Minari is the best thing that ever happened in the history of customizations, as far as I'm concerned. But the Broken would be pretty sweet as well.
Yeah.
Timerunning Pandamonium. Tell me about it, Evie. What on earth is that?
Is Pandaria scenario revamp? Is that what's going on?
So the smart money at the moment.
Tell me where to put my money. Where does the smart money go?
The smart money is that this is going to be a revamp of Mists of Pandaria challenge modes.
Oh, which was little scenarios,
Yeah, kind of like the embryonic precursor to what Mythic Plus, really. Where there's a timer and you complete them as quickly as possible, and you got armor. I pulled up the old rewards actually from the Mists of Pandaria challenge modes here, and there were armor sets. Looking pretty old now, and most of them have had recolors in the game anyway. But they're all there. The WoD ones are amazing. I wouldn't mind seeing the WoD weapons come back. But the Pandaria ones are cool. They're very unique. This one, I keep going, why Demon Hunters weren't around then? But of course, this is an old Warlock one. Would be really cool to get these horns. These horns have been out of the game in this color, obviously for a really long time, and I'd love to get them.
Yes.
And also you got the mounts as well, nice, the challenge mode mounts. So whether or not they bring these rewards back, or if they introduce new rewards or whatever. However, this is the smart money. This is what everyone thinks it's going to be. And it makes sense, right? It was of course, Panda challenge modes, but it's also worth pointing out that when Wowhead suggested that in a tweet, Timerunning Pandamonium was teased as part of a 10.2.7 content update. But what exactly is time running? Could it mean the return of challenge modes? And guess who was in the replies of that tweet? You'll never guess.
Holly Longdale.
Holly Longdale is just sitting in her house with a massive cigar. This is all she's doing. She's like in a dressing gown. She's in a robe. And she's just got like a huge cigar on the go all the time, just chuckling to herself at Twitter and replying with eye emotes. But her reply to this was, could it be even better than that?
Stop it.
So what would be better than a revamp of Mr. Pandaria challenge modes? I have no idea. Like, that is such a tease. So I don't know what could possibly be better than Mr. Pandaria challenge modes. I don't know what that could be.
No clue.
Mr. GM pointed out that there are time runner things in the data that have been there for a while, including stuff like the time running staff binds when equipped to hand, reduces movement speed by 200%. Which is an interesting one.
Okay.
Time running boots roll a short distance. Okay. Time runner's emerald plus health regen. Power increases with the level of the socket item. So,
all right,
this is interesting. And do you know what this makes me think of?
What does it make you think of?
Especially the one that says reduces movement speed by 2. Because why would you ever want to reduce your movement speed? Right? Do you remember those dailies in Pandaria where you were like running along the Great Wall? And, you know, they were like little gauntlets. Oh, you weren't running, you were rolling. You were rolling down the wall, right? You remember these? I remember that. They got kind of pretty frantic and pretty wild. What if there's a whole season of something like that where you're just like kind of rolling around Pandaria and, you know, it's almost like you're getting too fast at some points and you need to slow down a little bit. Something like that. And my question is, would that be better than Pandaria challenge modes? Because, you know, Holly Longdale is all up in your replies like, maybe it's something better. And it's like, oh, wow, it's better than challenge modes. It's like, yeah, remember that daily where you got really fast?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not sure people would think that's better than challenge modes necessarily, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no, but I feel like you're onto something, at least with those kind of data mined bits that have been there for ages, although they might be related to something else completely. But I just love the sheer like potential of stuff this could be.
Yeah. I think it's got to be connected to dungeons. I think it will be like a pure get through it as quickly as possible with maybe kind of public leaderboards and things like that. And I don't know, I just think that could be pretty cool. I think people would go wild for that sort of thing, like a big kind of public event with leaderboards for the different regions and things. And I think that could be really fun. You know, and you get your teams together and you're just bopping it, get some really degenerate kind of tactics and stuff for getting through. And it's no kind of forces percentage or whatever. You just get to the last boss and kill it as quickly as possible. They might as well just call it the rogue season, basically. It'll be brilliant. Fantastic. Or maybe a jump puzzle. That'd be good. Holly's selling it so well.
Really selling the jump puzzle.
Holly's of the opinion, like, if I just tell them it's brilliant for 6 months before it comes out.
Yes, it is brilliant.
Then people will be like, you're right, Holly. I love jumping puzzles. They're always my favorite. So that's super interesting as well.
Really good.
And a new holiday event, which, you know, could be a world event, could be like a new permanent thing. Who even knows? Then War Within, and this is in spring, right? Spring through to summer. And the War Within beta hitting, well, I guess June, July, something like that. Probably June, I'd have thought, for where it's positioned here in the chart.
June-ish.
I mean, we can work it out, right? They want to keep to basically a sort of 8-week patch cadence.
Okay.
So if Seeds of Renewal comes out, I'll work it out. I'll do it on my phone right now.
You're going to do the math?
I'll do it on my phone right now.
Or the maths, as they call it.
If Seeds of Renewal is indeed coming out on January the 8th, as we all expect, or January the 9th, I should say. Sorry.
9th, I think, yeah.
January the 9th.
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would give us a March the 5th potential release date for 10.26.
Okay, yeah, we said March before, right?
Which definitely matches up with where it is positioned, you know, like at the end of winter, beginning of spring sort of thing. And for season 4 as well. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Season 4 is starting there as well, so let's give it an extra week, and let's say it's one of those 9 ones.
Okay.
And that would give us a May the 7th release date for Dark Heart
Okay.
which is certainly in the spring, right?
Yeah,
That would work for Dark Heart. Oh, the thing we didn't talk about, for Dark Heart is, because I was saving it because it was the best thing about Dark Heart, is the Harbinger quests. Harbinger.
Yeah.
I've been saying Harbinger my entire life.
I think I mentioned this once before, maybe.
Why?
But it's Harbinger.
You've let me say it so many times.
I feel like devs have corrected you on this before.
Devs correct me on everything. It never ever makes sense.
I feel like we have literally had a dev be like,
say Firak.
as long as you don't say Harbinger, it's okay.
Oh, I think I used to say that as well.
That's the thing. You used to say Harbinger, so then you found the middle ground.
Okay, Harbinger. Okay, right.
It's a weird one.
Okay, well, so the Harbinger quest, which I mean, that's Xal'atath, right?
It has to.
It can only be Xal'atath. Maybe because we're all like, don't kill Xal'atath in the first raid of War Within. Don't do it. She's a really good baddie. Please make her like one of the main baggies. At the very least, I want to see her survive until midnight. I'd like to see her survive the entire... See, I have fantasies of...
Do you know?
Her... Yeah. Every single night of my life.
Yeah, tell me.
That's why I got you that costume for Christmas. But, like, I have fantasies of her and the Ridicron being, like, a baddie combo. Ooh. And basically being like those guys from Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, Xenos.
Oh, Xenos, yeah.
Xenos.
Oh, just so, like, the booty?
I see a Ridicron as Xenos, okay? And I see... I see Xal'atath being who's the guy that I hate more than anyone? And Daniel, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
I would like to see, this is because Ridicron is obviously a big baddie all the way through the World Soul Saga, and I want to see Xal'atath and a Ridicron being like the odd couple of baddies.
Okay.
I want to see a Ridicron and Xal'atath be the Xenos and Fandaniel of the World Soul Saga. Except instead of Fandaniel, who's the worst character ever made, and I would like rewrite all of time. If I was in the Bronze Dragonflight, I'd break all the rules. I would go back. This is why I'm not allowed to be Doctor Who, is because the first thing I would do is I'd go back and like delete Fandaniel from existence. Like imagine that dynamic, but with Xal'atath instead of the most, like one of the best characters ever made, Xal'atath, she's a sexy hot girl, replacing Fandaniel, one of the worst characters ever made.
Yeah,
like that would be amazing.
Just bumping up the combo.
With Ridicron being grumpy and just wanting to get on with it all the time, and Xal'atath just being like, chill out, man. Let's burn some babies. Right? You know, it would be awesome.
Can she have a really cool girlfriend too?
Oh yes.
Can I?
I would like to see her have a
pointed
knife
that one out.
that also has a sexy lady in it, and she has a brilliant relationship with the sexy lady and her own knife. That's what I want to see. It would be amazing. And I see people on Twitter still like, why do people love Xal'atath so much? She's done nothing. It's like, my friend, you did not play Priest in Legion, and it shows. Yeah. Because if you played Priest in Legion, you walked around with Xal'atath for 2 years.
Yeah, her voice was in your ear the whole time.
And she'd be saying stuff, and she'd be like, this sucks, let's burn it, and stuff like that. She was like the best friend I ever had. She's amazing. I've never known a guildie that I've liked as much as Xal'atath. I've never known a human being in real life that I've liked as much as Xal'atath. She's my bestie. I would die for her, and I have done actually a few times. Yeah. I still wear my Eye of N'Zoth. You know, which I'm reminded of every time I go back to like a BFA dungeon or something. My eye is there. My transmog just changes. But she's amazing. And so even if you don't know who she is because you weren't playing Priest in Legion, she has a mystery. She's an incredibly powerful character who was trapped in a dagger, and now she's off like causing shit, and she's going to be the harbinger of the void and like everything that's going to go wrong in the World Soul Saga. And she's amazing. She's brilliant. So that's how I picture her. I want to see her and a Ridicron be like this odd couple having this great dynamic of, you know, he's all gruff and sort of serious, and she's more playful and kind of, and technically he's more powerful than him as well, so she can afford to be a bit more laid back and a bit more cheeky and a bit more sassy and a bit more bloodthirsty when it comes down to it as well. Wouldn't it be funny though? And so if the Harbinger quests were basically we kill her there.
Oh no! Please
she doesn't even make it into the War Within.
No, that's not happening. Don't even put that out into the world. Don't It's like you're going to materialize that. I don't want that to happen. No, it's not happening.
Yeah. She did get us to piss off Odin before it was cool. Yeah, no, she's legit.
She was always ahead of the curve.
And she's been having like vague kind of build up for, since Legion, right? And I think in many ways she's now one of the most storied and kind of well foundationed, well based in the lore baddies that we actually have, which isn't saying much. The bar's pretty low, but left in the game right now, she's one of the baddies with the most kind of groundwork sort of laid for her. And I hope Blizz don't waste it. I hope they really, really have fun with her, and I hope she lasts basically all the way through the World Soul Saga, but at least until midnight. And having quests which are then leading into the War Within in 10.27, Dark Heart. I mean, that's her, right?
It has to be.
And it makes me think, like, you know, it's impossible with Heart not to think of like the Heart of Azeroth and the Chamber of the Heart. And, you know, that theory that maybe the voice we're all hearing is actually Xal'atath or someone pretending to be Azeroth. It's not actually Azeroth at all. Maybe it's some kind of trick. I mean, that doesn't not suggest that, you know.
No.
I don't know. I feel like it's it could be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to that. I love any story quests, and I think that's one of the things that Dragonflight's done really well with having that extra patch in between major patches. Is you lead into the next patch really, really well. And it's great to see them doing that for the next expansion as well. Something which I love. I want to be in that, please. Yes. So you know, about April. Where was I on my calendar? Yeah, about May the 7th is what we predict, or maybe the very end of April for Dark Heart.
Okay.
And then that would make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would give us a end of June or first like week of July release date for the War Within pre-patch.
Oh, okay.
Which again would fit with where it is on this chart.
Yeah, that could make sense.
So we are looking at every 8 weeks again.
August, September. So then maybe like about September early for the actual release.
And of course, we know what's coming with the pre-patch. You know, features that you'd expect from War Within that would release before the actual expansion itself, like the war bands. That won't surprise anyone. That's coming before the actual launch. Dynamic flight, guild updates, all that kind of like quality of life stuff always comes before the actual expansion, which is really cool. And world events as well. I was really hoping that they would go back to a pre-patch kind of approach like BFA. I still think BFA had the best pre-patch of any expansion ever, where they had those 3 big chapters. 3 story chapters over 3 weeks with cinematics and, you know, big battles happening and stuff like that. And I loved it. I thought it was so good. It's criminal that you can't play it anymore. So that would suggest that's not happening. But I mean, I feel like the world events for Dragonflight were a bit underwhelming with all the elemental stuff and what have you. Hopefully there'll be an improvement on that, but I guess we'll see. And then that would make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would give us an August the 27th release date for the War Within.
August 27th. Yeah, oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the very end of summer into autumn.
Could be.
So, I mean, that would work. I can't imagine they'd want a pre-patch to go on longer than 8 weeks. But it could, you know, we could give it an extra week and take it into September, you know, but either way, end of August, early September would be.
Yes, because I remember it always used to clash with our guild holidays, which used to be like the first week of September. It'd be like, oh, are we going to have to bring our laptops to Greece? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
yeah, totally. I think BFA was an August release as well, but I'm not entirely certain. It was certainly September. And then that would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would give us a kind of like late October release date for 10.05, new story and quests, new content and system updates. Again, like very vague there. We're not hearing anything about that for a while. Now, what I do find surprising about this roadmap, is that it doesn't go any further than that, you know? Because 8 weeks after when we would expect 11.05 to come out would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're still in mid-December at that point. December the 17th. Like basically a year away from now. Should we expect an 11.07? Should we expect an 11.2?
I don't know. Maybe it's one of those that gets pushed back into kind of early January.
Yeah, probably.
Like what we're going to get now.
I guess. So, I mean, what that means is if The War Within does release in August, September, which is earlier than we've become used to recently, then that's, apart from whatever's in 11.05, and that could be a lot more substantial than we're expecting, but that's it basically for the year. You know,
yeah.
No new raid or anything. Not that you'd expect it. I don't really know what I expect, to be honest. But it could be that they ran out of space on the graphic. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And they don't want to have two winters in the graphic, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. But there's that, right? When do you think they'll release the collector's edition? No idea. But I will buy it the second I see it, as always, because I love that shit.
Absolutely.
So yeah, there we are. There's the roadmap, guys. Incredibly exciting. Let us know what you're most excited about, what you think the pirate flag is all about, where you think we're going with the Harbinger quests, any kind of like release time scale, anything like that. I am super happy with this as like a content creator. It makes brilliant speculation, and I feel like this last year 2023, I spent more time in our videos and streams and stuff talking about actual content than ever before, because you know, a major kind of conversation point before was always like, when do you think the release is going to be? You know, and thankfully that has been taken off the table, basically. Yeah,
but taking that like out of the equation hasn't given us less to talk about. It's given us more to talk about, and more like concrete stuff to talk about.
Actually just talking about the content in the game, which as a creator feels amazing. As a player, it gives you so much confidence having these promises and having these schedules and having it all out there. And it genuinely makes me enjoy the content more, you know, knowing when the next update is coming.
Absolutely. And like I'm a habitual like calendar planner. I put everything into my Google Calendar, like literally everything, like all of everything my kids do, like everything I do, everything we do. And seeing this, like just having it laid out ahead for the entire year is so satisfying. And like you say, like as a content creator, amazing. Like we have our work cut out for us. Like, and we know that we are going to have lots of things to talk about, that it isn't just going to be like tinfoil hat speculation. It's going to be like concrete, like now it's time to start talking about this thing, which we see coming up, which feels amazing. And and as a player, I feel like more like just in such good hands. Like I just love
safe hands.
I just love seeing like there's a difference between having someone say there is something coming this year, great, okay, but actually seeing it written out for me like in text, it's just it just blows my mind. I love it.
And I she's a producer, and I don't know how much she's involved with the details and the day-to-day, but I honestly feel like Metzen is one thing, right? And that's great, and he's awesome to have around. But the real kind of big difference in just the vibe around the game these days is Holly. I feel like having her,
absolutely,
and she's so enthusiastic, and she's so, you know, in the energy that she kind of puts out there, she's so different from Ian. And I love Ian. I'm a huge fan of Ian. And I love how cerebral he is. I love how seriously he takes everything. I love the respect that he gives to like any question and wants to like explore it thoroughly and things like that. But, you know, you need someone who's just really enthusiastic and just loves shit as well. And I know she's like super capable and incredible, and like I'm sure she's had a big hand in lots of these new philosophies and templates and you know, styles of presenting content and stuff, and because that's her job, right? And she's doing an incredible job. But just the energy that she puts out there is so good, you know. Just coming on to stage at BlizzCon in basically a cosplay, you're like, yeah, we needed that actually. We do kind of need that. Thank you. That's really good. So I appreciate her more than she'll ever know. She's wonderful. I love her.
Yeah, and so and whether that's her or someone else, or like kind of a whole collective change within the team, like whoever or however this like new like patch cadence and like roadmap delivery system has come about, like this has like producer brain written all over it. This is like this is literally someone who's like, no wait, look at all of you doing all this good stuff. I need to put this in a nice neat box and deliver it to everyone like in a way they understand. Like I love this, and I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is brilliant. And the roadmap system in general, one of the best things that's ever happened to WoW, honestly. Something that desperately needed to happen after the kind of disappointments of patch cadence in BFA and Shadowlands. I've said it before, 2023 is going to go down as like the year that WoW kind of sorted its shit out. Like it's like Dragonflight's going to go down in WoW history as like the patch, as the expansion where Blizz sorted their shit out and set the game properly on this new philosophy, gameplay wise and communication wise and all the rest of it. And yeah, I don't see any reason to doubt that that's going to continue being the case in 2024. It feels weird to be so optimistic, honestly.
I know. Well, but it's nice. And especially right at the end of the year, like Christmas is coming, the year is wrapping up. Like just seeing all this ahead of us is feels good, man.
Yeah, totally. That's it from us today. Sorry, this is not a scripted weekly reset. There's no way we could have done that because we're leaving tomorrow.
We're leaving now.
Still got like videos to finish before that as well, which I'm working like super hard. I'm going to be up all night anyway. But we'll put this on the main channel so you can see our reactions to this, and it is out there. It's breaking news.
It is.
Weekly reset, breaking news. But thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make all of our work happen, and still do. And thank you guys, because without you there would be a whole lot less, and I mean a whole lot less, Taliesin and Evitel. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. You're right, you're entitled to that. It's your opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do what you want. It won't hurt us. Don't worry about it. You can't you see down likes on videos these days.
I love a good bit of negative feedback.
Yeah. You know? Oh, yeah. Be really nasty to us in the comments, guys. We deserve it.
Stop it.
We're horrible. We're bad people. Tell us so. Tell us so in the comments. Yeah, no, absolutely. We do have another big video coming out before the end of the year. So join us for that. It's oh my God, it's turned into a much bigger video than I thought it was going to be, which is why it's taking so long. Oops. Looking forward to it. But otherwise, with that in mind, this will probably be our last stream of the year on Twitch, and we won't be back into full working mode again until early January, so we will see you then. I hope you have an amazing new year. I hope you have an amazing holiday period. I hope you rest up. I hope you play a lot of WoW.
Oh yeah.
And I guess we'll see you in patch 10.2.5. From me, Taliesin.
And me, Evitel.
Cheerio.
Bye.